Hey everybody, Jesse again, back with another Patreon upload. So this is a nice film rescue we did a little while back. We meant to have these guests on again, we just never got around to it. Just everybody's schedules got all screwed up. We had the ladies from Two Chicks and a Horror Flick jump on board to talk about Silent Hill Revelation 3D, like one of those movies. This was the barn burner, bottom of the barrel movie for film rescue for that season. This was a rough movie to sit through. But yeah, the conversation was great. It was, I was just kind of there, just hanging out. It mostly was the girls talking, Hope, Tony, Felicia. It was just mainly their episode. I was just kind of hanging out. So, a lot of fun on this episode. The audio quality is not as strong as it usually is. Our guest's audio was a little messy, but overall I'm still happy with the episode. There was a long conversations about horror films and things like that, and we talked a lot about Silent Hill and the lore of it, and it's also probably one of the funniest episodes we had that season. We love to have a good laugh. I don't think there was much drinking on that episode as far as I remember, but yeah, it was quite an episode. It was a lot of fun. Whenever film rescues have a good rapport with our guests, those were always the best ones. Yeah, this was the one that kind of destroyed Silent Hill film potential for a little while. Supposedly, we're getting an adaptation of Silent Hill 2 pretty soon called Return to Silent Hill, but it's directed by the same guy that did the first movie, so I don't know if that's going to be any good. I'm not a fan of these movies. I don't care. I love the games, but the games and the movies are two completely different things. So yeah, this was a great film rescue. We had a good time with this one. There was quite a bit more added into the Patreon version. So here it is. Sit back and enjoy our full conversation of Silent Hill Revelation in 3D. Enjoy. Welcome to the Film Rescue Show. I am your host, Jesse. Today I have Hope.
God damn it, Jesse. We just went over this. What's my nickname?
You're the horror whore.
Thank you.
And today we have our two guests from the Two Chicks and a Horror Flick podcast. We have Tawny.
Hello. And
Felicia.
Hello.
And today we are going to be discussing... Oh man, this is a rough one. We're discussing Silent Hill Revelation in 3D from 2012, directed by MJ Bassett. I was saying off air that we usually have one barn burner per season at this point, where there's just one where the film is kind of broken in almost every possible respect. This is the one for the season.
That you say.
Last episode, Seth said that Blade Trinity was the bottom of the barrel. I think that we finally scraped bedrock for this one. Tawny, Felicia, go ahead and introduce yourselves and discuss what your podcast is all about.
Sure.
All right. Want me to do it?
Yeah, you go, Felicia.
Rock, paper, scissors. I know you're not next to each other, but rock, paper, scissors.
All right. We are Two Chicks and a Horror Flick, and we talk about horror movies. We love it. We grab a glass of whiskey, and we're just no nonsense, straightforward. We dive right into the movie and talk all about it. And our focus, of course, is horror movies.
Yeah.
Hope, you need to be a guest on this show because this is all your department.
This is
Yes.
this is legitimately my life. So
I loved what you were saying, and actually Tawny had said, "Oh my gosh," because I was listening to a different episode of yours, and Tawny was like, "Oh, you got to listen to Hellraiser one. They have a great conversation around horror," and I totally agree with you, Hope, on psychological horror, and I was really enjoying that conversation.
Same.
yay!
Yes,
I was
like,
about to say, yeah.
Oh no, you go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just like, it's just so nice to like be. First off, this is a very special episode for me because this is the first time I'm not in a sausage fest. So thank you.
I'm just gonna sit over here and just kind of just be the moderator, I think, for this one.
I was gonna say, I mean, like in one of my other shows, Mind Brain Movies, I have my quote unquote like team avatar where it's me and two like therapists, and we're all females. But like when it comes to these shows, like I'm typically the only chick. Even all of our guests have been dudes, and I'm like, motherfucker, like, come on. So,
This
like,
one was for you, Hope.
this is just like completely meant for me, and I'm so happy about it.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm super excited to chat with you about this, and because I agree, I listened to that same conversation, and I was just like, yes, this makes so much sense. And you had mentioned that you love horror, so I am very excited to talk through this with you.
Nice. Okay, so let's jump into it. So, quick question before we go anywhere: who here has played the Silent Hill games?
I have.
Okay.
And I
have.
Tawny.
Sorry, Tawny.
No, you're fine. I realized in the beginning I didn't introduce myself, so you gotta identify it to the voice. And so, Tawny here. Yes, I have.
Okay.
You're not just a voice from the nether region.
Right.
Yeah, right. You're totally right, Tawny. I didn't even say our names or anything. Oh, but you know what? That's okay because Jesse did. All right. I did the very first one. I played some of it, and the cool thing about it makes me want to revisit it. I had to stop playing because it scared me too much. So.
Mm-hmm. It was a companion game that came out around the same time as the Resident Evil games. Resident Evil is more kind of silly and just kind of action oriented, whereas Silent Hill is more psychological. It's more disturbing, weird, creepy. It gets under your skin. Yeah, Silent Hill 2 is still probably the peak of that franchise, which they are currently doing an adaptation of. Why?
I am stoked for it.
They did just cast the actors that are going to be playing James and Mary. Unfortunately, it's the same director as the first movie. If you screw this up, Christoph Gans, I will kill your cat. I swear I will.
Don't bring cats into this. Just go after him. God damn.
Okay, so I'm assuming you didn't like the first one.
No.
Okay, interesting.
Well, on our YouTube channel, we do have a quick fix. Seth and I did a quick fix about 2 or 3 years ago where we basically said the problem with these movies and their adaptations is that they treat Silent Hill like it's an amusement park ride. And that's not what the series is.
Okay.
So that's
We all got real quiet.
I know.
well, that's the thing is that
Making yourself still the oddball out, Jesse. Just dig in that grave.
I know. I'm digging a hole to China right now. But here, I do think that there is like a funhouse element to Silent Hill, yes, but it's more introspective horror. It's more in the vein of something like David Lynch's stuff. It's more like Dario Argento. It's not things popping out of the closet going rah. That's the problem I think with these adaptations, that it's more meant to sort of get under your skin and make you creeped out, feel weird. Like, what do the monsters look like? I don't know. Just keep them away from me. I don't know what it is. Just get it away from me. That's I think the problem with both of these movies, the original and this one. I think the way I pitched a fix for the original film was make it into Andrei Tarkovsky's film Stalker. It's more about people wandering into the town and just having their horrors come to life.
Yeah. I agree with you for this one, the 3D Revelation.
Yeah.
But the first movie is, I tell people all the time that it's my favorite movie of all time because I feel like they did an amazing job, the best job I have seen in making an adaptation of a video game into a movie. And he changed the story quite a bit, but I love it. It is one of my all-time favorite movies. So I'm But I
Let me keep
understand
digging my grave to China. Let me keep digging.
No,
I was
but
waiting for
understand-
Tawny to tell you that.
Yeah. I know that a lot of people didn't. I think a lot of game players didn't like the first movie. And to be fair, I didn't play all the way through the first game, just because I went back and tried it way after the fact, and it's really clunky and difficult to play on a PlayStation 1 now.
Yeah, it's very clumsy. Yeah.
So I didn't have that same, level of connection to the plot in the first one, I think. But I feel like he did a really good job. But the third game is my favorite. And this movie is so offensive.
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They took that whole game and they crammed it into a 90-minute movie. Wow. Wow. Okay, then.
Unsuccessfully. Hope, how did you feel about the first one?
Can I just say, both of these films have something I have never seen before. Sean Bean didn't die.
Oh, yeah, he didn't die. Oh, god
true.
damn. Congratulations, Sean. You made it.
And in a horror film, no less. Like, he went against all the odds and lived in two of them. Like, holy shit, that right there is amazing. So
The irony is his character in the game actually does die. So he somehow outlasted his character.
that's what I'm saying, man. Like, this is like the one role of Sean Bean's, and I'm like, are you sure you cast this right? Nothing against Sean Bean, but he's supposed to die. But yeah, I definitely preferred the first film over this remake. I know one thing, especially with horror films, it's what I've seen. There's a trend, and we kind of talked about this with another horror film as well, My Bloody Valentine. Whenever you translate like I said, especially with horror, when you translate it to 3D, they focus so much more on the 3D element and they let everything else go by the wayside. Yeah. So they're putting all their efforts into this 3D element that's really just such a gimmicky, stupid fucking thing.
Yeah.
And they don't focus on the actual story arc, the gameplay, the or whatever they're going for. So that was a big hindrance right in and of itself, was the fact that they went 3D. I think that was the biggest fault they could have done. If they had focused a lot more on everything else, I think it could have turned out way better. But it's even just the format and composing of, like, when she goes outside in the fog, because it's like superimposed to be 3D, it looks so shitty.
Yeah, it looks like a layer over top of the film. It's so weird looking.
And again, it's all because they're like, all right, let's make a 3D movie, and they just like slap Silent Hill on there. It's like 3D first, the movie was thought after the fact. So
God, and it's so gimmicky.
Yeah, remember how I said in the beginning that this feels like an amusement park ride? It's literally an amusement park ride with the 3D in it. It's this is a thing you do at amusement parks where you go into it's a 3D ride and the seats rock back and forth. That's what it feels like. It's
So I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna post something to the Discord chat real quick, and
go for it.
You'll see that I was trying to be excited. This is a throwback. I just posted a couple of photos of me at like the midnight. I was at the midnight fucking premiere of this shit.
Wow.
Thinking it would be like this big thing, and it was nope.
You brave woman. How was it?
I'm glad there was a bar open after.
I want to point out one other thing that I've never seen happen to me before. So I decided to go check Rotten Tomatoes and just see like where this sits at. When we did our quick fix for the first one a couple years ago, this sat at 10% on Rotten Tomatoes. Critics were like, okay, it sucks, move on. I went and checked it again recently. It dropped recently. Some other poor soul out there decided to give this a rewatch and still said, nope, still sucks, and slammed it down even further to 8%.
Wow.
I've never seen a movie drop its Rotten Tomatoes critic score again after a decade. I've never seen that.
The fact that you're the one person who checks that, Jesse.
But I was just curious because I was just like, I've just got to see, is it still like 10%? Nope, it's lower. Lower. Like, this makes the first one look pretty good by comparison.
Oh, definitely. I feel
Yeah.
like they're so night and day, and I think that's another reason why I'm so offended by this movie, because I love the first one so much, and it's just like, I think anything could have paled in comparison, but this just like really hit the bottom of the barrel for sure.
There's stuff to really appreciate in the first one. There's some good production design. There's some great usage of the music. There's stuff to appreciate. You know, it's.
I can say for me, hi guys. I'm just kidding.
Hello.
The first one I wasn't the biggest fan of, but it was the first time that I was exposed to horror movies like that based on video games and the way it was. And Tawny really brought a lot to that conversation that made me respect it even more. And I would love to go back and watch it. This one, I had fun with it. And I agree with everything you're saying. When the graphics were wonky, I would tell myself, because I really, really tried to give the movie a chance. I would tell myself, it's because it's that 3D thing. So let me just kind of disregard that and stay in it. I think it's really good I didn't play the game because it's just literally the movie. And the reason I had fun was because I am sorry, those monsters are some of the best fucking monsters. They are so disturbing. And I didn't care about the characters. We're going to talk about a lot of the stuff that didn't work. And there's a lot. For me, I was scared of I didn't care what she was going to run into. What was I going to run into? Because it was so dark and disturbing, these monsters. But my biggest thing is, there was not enough of these monsters. There's this monster and I'm absorbing it. I'm looking at it, because it's moving so fast. I really want to take it all in. And then, that's done. Oh, okay. I guess we're moving on from that. And then, there wasn't enough. I want an onslaught of those monsters. So maybe, like you were saying in the beginning, of just people are wandering into this place and they stumble upon it and they have to get through all of these monsters. I would love that because I want more of these monsters. So that was my take.
Oh, I 100% agree with you. That's some of the best things about this film that I did take away was I was like, once I saw Pyramid Head, I was like, that's my boy.
Yes.
So like I will say, like, once I saw like the nurses in Pyramid Head, all that, I was like, okay, I'm starting to come back. I'm starting to come back because like those were executed very, very well. Like I at that point I was like, okay, as shitty as this is, at least I got my dudes. So,
Yeah, I'll give credit where credit is due. I mean, as a positive, like, Pyramid Head design is pretty good, even though it doesn't look exactly like the game. There's things I can appreciate. I guess the contortionist, sexy nurses is kind of interesting. I don't get the whole sexy nurse thing. I don't get it personally.
Then you don't get me, Jesse.
Okay. That was never in the game. That's a thing from the first movie.
I think that's maybe a big thing is because, like I mentioned, I haven't played all the games. So these characters, these scary monster things were just delicious. I loved them. I loved how disturbing they were. Like Pyramid Head, I agree with you. Hope when I saw him, I said out loud, oh my God, I love him. Meaning he's just so massive. And just, I admire so much the brain that created these beasts. They are just so amazing. And then the people are lame. Like the lead woman in the religion, that's not even scary, not even slightly. Or the old man with his like boho knitted sweater he's wearing. Then he turns into something great. And I'm like, oh my God, this is great. Look at that. Oh no, I guess she just needs to reach in there and grab that thing. Oh, that's done. Okay, we're moving on now. It's just...
I will say, so that really, really hurt because
Yeah.
I am the biggest Malcolm McDowell fan on the planet. I've met him at horror conventions. I have a tattoo of his face on me. I like when I met him, he looked at my tattoo of him from A Clockwork Orange and was like, you're mad. And I was like, but it's your face. And he's like, I'm mad too. Give me a hug. And I was like, oh my God, I could die happy. So like seeing him in that kind of role, I'm just like, what a waste of such massive goddamn talent.
Yeah.
And that did, like I said, that did hurt me because that's my man. Like that is my man.
Yeah. Part of me wants to say that getting all the big actors and actresses into this film is a plus, but then you think about, oh, that's right, they're in like one scene here or there. Like the only one that's inconsistent scenes is Kit Harington. like Carrie-Anne Moss is in what, one scene? Sean Bean is in 2 scenes. Rhoda Mitchell has a cameo for literally a single shot.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's such a waste. Like I feel like that's what sold the movie was, hey, we have all these big names in this movie. Isn't this impressive? It reminds me of that Assassin's Creed movie where they got Academy Award-winning actors to be in the film, but the movie is absolute crap. It's like it's just there to sell the movie. Like, don't you want to see Jeremy Irons in Assassin's Creed? Yeah, but he's boring as fuck.
And they did them all so fucking dirty too. Like everyone in this movie does a fucking shit job of acting. Like it just must have been a direction thing because you know that he's good. The name is escaping me again. Malcolm McDowell. Sean Bean, Kit Harington. We've seen them, Carrie-Anne Moss, right? We've seen them in other things, and they are good at acting. Just not in this movie.
Malcolm McDowell's done like theater in England. That's like top tier shit. Like,
yeah.
Carrie-Anne Moss is so checked out in this movie. Just does not care at all.
It's a paycheck for her.
Oh, this is absolutely a paycheck movie.
This is right before she did she did the Marvel stuff for Netflix, basically.
Yeah. So it's like she's about to go into Jessica Jones, where the real acting is going to be happening. Like this. Yeah, this. Let's try to dig out more positives. We're scraping for this one.
Sorry. Yeah.
No, I get it. Just I will say, I like the fact that this is a closer adaptation of the game than the first one was. It's closer, in possibly bad ways, but that's my positive.
Nope. Okay. what
I'm
does that
trying.
mean, closer in bad ways. Like, please explain.
So we have the there's the mall. Like the mall is there. It's not done very well, but it's there. We have the asylum. It's there. It's not done very well, but it's there. There's no like locations from the game in the first movie. There's no like identifiable there's the amusement park. Oh, there's the lake. Like stuff like that appears in this. Like, hey, there's the amusement park. They literally go to it. Like, okay, I'm fine with that. It's there. It's not done well, but it's there. That's the best I can say. I'm sorry.
They don't have like the school in the first game. I think it's called like Middlewich or something.
Midwich. They do have the school in the first game, but it's done completely differently. It's absolutely different in every way.
Yeah, I mean, it is weird because they changed the story quite a bit.
Yeah,
so.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We'll get into that in negatives. So.
On that note, though, something that I did like that they tried to pull in from the first movie is I did like the incorporation of the classroom scenes into this movie to kind of like give a quick window back into that. I liked that part. I thought that was a nice little something thrown in. I think they just tried too hard. Like I did read a quote from the director and writer, and she just tried way too hard to bridge the gap and do both, right? Like have it be a good adaptation of the video game and stay true to that, but also have it be a sequel to the first movie.
Right.
And I think that went too far, and she even agreed, years later, it was like, that was
bitter in the
a
ass,
failure. Yeah.
Sometimes you can do that, like with the adaptation of Dr. Sleep by Mike Flanagan. It's an adaptation of the book while also being a sequel to the Stanley Kubrick film. That's a special case because Mike Flanagan is God. So
I was gonna say, you just have a hard on for Mike Flanagan, so don't even.
He's gonna do Dark Tower. God damn it, it's one of my favorite series. I cannot wait. So yeah, I that's a very rare exception. Trying to make both camps happy is very, very difficult. So it's either you need to make a straight sequel to the first movie or you need to make an adaptation of the game. In this regard, it kind of fails at both, I suppose. So
I have another good thing.
Yes, please.
And it was a good thing with the first one as well. And we had talked about it when we talked about Silent Hill, that Jacob's Ladder does good, and that I love in movies in general, where you're in a place, right? Mm-hmm. And you kind of are running and you open a door and, there's little things. Maybe it's a little darker back here. And then all of a sudden, fuck, where are we? Like shit is like crazy right now. And it just, it starts so normal. And then all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose. And then you're back to, I guess, calm reality. For example, when she was in the mall and she's running through the mall, she goes into the back and then the back becomes crazy. It's all disheveled. You're like, where are we right now? And then she goes through a door and it's the parking lot. They did that really good in the beginning too, just like Jacob's Ladder in the hospital. It's so, it slips up on you, and where you're just in a hospital and all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, where are we right now? I really love that.
Yeah,
the shifting,
I agree.
Yeah, the shifting reality, yeah.
Yeah, I think that happens in the game too. In the third game, it is like you will be in one building and you'll be exploring and moving, and like sometimes you end up in a different building, and then you're like, I was, here, now I'm in a hospital, I think. And so that's kind of nice because it feels like it's this really interesting alternate reality. I think that's part of what I love about the Silent Hill franchise is alternate realities, and it's kind of this weird meshing of stuff.
Yeah. It occasionally does in all of the games, or at least the original 4 from Team Silent. They would do the knock out the main character, they wake up in another place, so that way the game can continue.
Yeah.
They would kind of cheat to get away with that. It's like, oh, we started out in the school, now we're in the hospital somehow. Like, it's just there for gameplay purposes, really. So
I mean, either way, for the gameplay purposes or not, it works well as a sort of medium of how to continue the story, how to do it. It's something different, and I will give them that. It is something different. Not everyone does that. It does explore a new way to, because when you throw, especially in a movie sense, it's another way to throw somebody off. It throws them off their equilibrium. You think they're about to do something, and that's what helps give you that like startle reaction. It puts you unease because you're like, oh shit, I don't know what's gonna happen, and so you're trying to figure out and calculate and expect, and then it's like, well, fuck, I wasn't expecting that, So it's a good tool to use. It's a good medium to access, especially in horror. So that's one thing it's used well. So I like that point. That's a good point. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think things that scare me the most, and that's why I like psychological horror and things, is losing your mind. And in this, within this movie, can you imagine how scary it would be you have no control. You're losing control. You're not sure if you're crazy or not, or if these are things you're really seeing. And I really just like that element of it because I think that that's terrifying. I'm not saying that this is a terrifying movie. I just think that is a terrifying thing.
I mean, I've said this before in, other episodes that I've done. Like, blood and gore is fun to me. What really gets me is, like you were saying, the psychological aspect. Like, I will never get a jump scare. I will never, because I just find it too fun. I do. But, like, when you start to fuck with my head, that's when I'm like, oh shit. oh,
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
I don't like this, you know.
It's worth noting in the entirety of the games, I think there's only 2 jump scares. 2 jump scares. In the first game, there's a sequence where a body falls out of a locker. And in the third game, you're going through a fake haunted house and a body falls from the ceiling. Everything else is just like weird and creepy. And it's like the second game, James literally jumps into his own grave and it's a hole you jump into, you land into the asylum. And that's the horror you're going through in the second game. Like, there's no jump scares as far as I remember in
You
the
mean
second
what
game.
you're doing in the beginning of this episode?
Yes. I'm digging my hole to China. But yeah, the jump scares are not what Silent Hill is typically about. It's more about just creeping you out, getting under your skin. Until they did the American-based games like Homecoming and Downpour, which they referenced in the ending of this movie. We'll get to that. Anyways, is there any more negatives or any more positives we can pull out before we jump into negatives?
I have 2 quick ones.
Go for it.
Number 1, I loved that she picked up a lead pipe because that is like
Oh, yeah.
the first weapon, one of the first weapons that you start with in the third game.
Mm-hmm.
And I played with the lead pipe for so fucking long. And it's your trusty weapon. You know, you run out of ammo, you go back to that lead pipe. And so just, you know, there were a lot of Easter eggs and references that were kind of fun. It just fell flat and felt so shallow within this, like, the story itself is really shallow. And so they just felt like they were just pumping as much as they could in, and it really suffers for that. But I did like some of these tiny nods. That one is probably my favorite. And then I also liked that they made the change that they made, that Vincent was still a member of this cult, but he is Claudia's son. In the game, he's a member of the cult, and he's his grandfather is Leonard, and so I think that they're related in a different way in the movie. But I liked that.
In the movie, it's still his grandfather. Yeah.
Oh, but Claudia's his mother.
Right. That was the new aspect that they did. Yeah.
Yeah. And so later, when I get to my pitch, I'm going to keep that because I think it's good for reasons that I'll talk about later.
Nice.
Yeah. Did you guys catch the incestuous element of the movie?
I don't think so.
I don't think I did either.
So if Kit Harington's character is the son of Claudia, and she is the sister of Dahlia, and Alessa, aka Heather, is her daughter, that means that they're actually cousins.
Oh shit, you're right. Oh god, this whole like forced in romance subplot though, I fucking hate this.
Yeah, dude, they were together all of 2 seconds, and he's like, "I love you." I'm like, "Bitch, how?" The only thing I've ever fallen in love with that quickly is my dog. Like,
I think we're biting at the champ to get to the negatives. So who wants to dive in?
I will let these lovely ladies take
fire
take a whack
away.
at it. Yeah.
Well, I could start then. I didn't like how rushed it felt, and we kind of talked about that. I felt I wanted more of those monsters. Like what I didn't. There's so much I didn't even understand, and maybe because I don't know enough of the backstory. But like I thought the whole school scene and her being weird and an outcast at school, who gives a shit? I thought oh my gosh, I love, if you've listened to our episodes, I love a religious cult. I love some crazy religious people. I think it's terrifying. And it was just so boring. They were more like Mad Max inspired. I don't even know. They just weren't scary at all. And then she was the thing with the blades. Like, what? I don't even get it. Oh, and then, oh my gosh. It was just so anticlimactic so many times. Oh, they're going to have this big fight, and then they just hug. There's just like so many things, and then I'm just really trying to hang in there. Oh, here comes Pyramid Head. Yes, okay, they're gonna have a battle, dude. She gets the better of them for like a couple seconds, and then it's done. That's done.
Yeah, it was
moving on.
Super anticlimactic. I was like, that's not a fight. I've seen a TKO fights in UFC last longer than that. Like,
Yes, it was just, there were so many times I felt it was so anticlimactic. As I started to get all excited about something happening, oh, that's done. That's how I felt constantly throughout the entire movie.
yeah, no, it was
Yeah.
1,000% rushed, and I guess because they were trying to cram the entire game into this film, and sometimes it's one of those instances where it's like they probably could have done a way better job if they're like, oh well, let's make this a TV series, or let's make this like a trilogy even of movies
Yeah.
if you wanted to do that, because then they could have like done different aspects. They could have done, I know it's this strange thing, it's called character development. Shocker.
What's that?
I know, right? Like, what am I talking about? I'm craziness. But and it's because I mean, and then that's another thing too, that horror films are also very infamous for being series of things, you know, like more so than any other genre out there. And it's because you can do so much, you can deep dive into so many things because of that. And they could have benefited from that too. So I could have had an entire movie of just Pyramid Head killing shit. Like that,
Yeah.
maybe that's just me, but
No, it's not. Felicia and I are on board for that.
yes.
Yes. Yes.
Just
That could be
ripping
the
off
name, too.
people's
Pyramid
skins.
Head. There we go.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one thing I remember so much from the first one. That's just epic. Skin ripping. Oh my gosh. It's amazing. Anyway, we're not talking about that movie.
I want to tack on to that, Felicia, because I think probably, I mean, I'll leave some other negative points for other people to hit
Oh, thank you so
because
much.
basically the entire movie sucks. But I think one of my biggest problems with it is that it's basically wall-to-wall exposition. Like, you get maybe 15, 20 minutes of just, like, her wandering around in cool locations in Silent Hill where everybody shuts the fuck up, and great. That's, like, the best part of this movie, in my opinion. Because the rest of it is so ridiculous because they tried to cram everything in that they have to explain everything all the way. I mean, but the thing is, they don't have to, but they set out to make a movie for a wider audience, is what they said. Like, one of the producers, I think, really early on. And it so suffers from that because everything has to be spoon-fed to you as a viewer, and they just really don't, you know, trust you as the audience at all. Like, there's that moment where Leonard is like, you know, I'm blind. And then she gives him the seal of Metatron, and you see the cloudiness disappear from his eyes, and he's like, I can see now. It's like, I have never in my life seen a movie like this, where it
And
is
somehow
like,
Palpatine returned.
That's my big negative. This is one of the worst scripts I have ever had the displeasure of listening to.
yeah.
It is abysmally bad. The point where I was like, oh, this is going to be a rough ride was when Sean Bean somehow sees Rhoda Mitchell in the mirror
Oh my God.
for some reason, and he says, it's like, was it Harry, my love? And I'm like, oh God, here we go. Jesus Christ. I am just, no one talks like a person in this movie. Like, when Kit Harington says, hey, do you Facebook? I'm like, what the fuck? Who the hell says that?
I feel like that was like if like a 90-year-old was like just discovering the internet for the first time or something.
Oh God. It's like a 60-year-old man trying to write dialogue for a teenager. It's just so
What about you?
bad.
They talked a lot about social media. She even had a whole thing. I'm not going to tweet you. I'm not going to social media inside of the school. Like, there was just so much I felt could have just been gone.
Oh yeah.
And then, you know, yeah.
Yeah. How about that subplot with the two cops? That really paid off, didn't it?
Oh God, yeah.
I can't wait to see where this goes.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see where this goes.
Stupid.
I forgot entirely.
They pull out the photo. They pull out the photo of Heather. Says, Heather Mason, We got to find her real soon. Push forward with the camera. She's standing right there.
Right there. Great job, guys. That is our fucking justice system at its finest.
Oh, man. Keep digging. Keep digging.
Okay, so I'm just gonna throw this out there, kind of going off of what you were saying with exposition. What's the film called? Just what's the film called?
Revelation.
Guys? No, not Revelation.
Silent.
Oh, Silent Hill.
When the fuck is it silent ever?
Oh, God. Ugh. Sound design is awful in this movie.
Like, I'm just like, you need a quiet place was creepy as fuck because it was quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not once did I get a single iota of silence in Silent fucking Hill. Like, what? Like, I couldn't even count one to, oh, nope, someone sounds, like it. There was no silence.
Especially the scene where they're supposed to be quiet with the nurses around, and I'm like, okay, this is gonna be really tense. Just I can just God, shut up! Stop talking! Stop talking!
They're like,
They were so loud, it was ridiculous.
Oh my God! Like, this is what I said. It feels like an amusement park ride. Like, everybody get into the cart together. We're going to go through the haunted house. Like, that's what it feels like. It's like...
My best friend who is deaf could have fucking heard them. Like...
Oh, God. This is awful. And, that's the thing about the games is that the most terrifying parts are when you're alone in the dark and it's quiet.
yeah.
That's when it's terrifying.
That reminds me of another thing. I'm so sorry, but just to tack onto this, there's way too many fucking people around. Who are all these people? Like, that's part of what makes the game scary is you're isolated. Like, you run into people here and there, other NPCs or whatever. Yeah, but they've got people in the windows watching them. There's like these members of the order all over the place. It just ruins what's scary about isolation.
Yeah.
I was wondering about that too, like all the people looking out. Like, we didn't even need any of that. There's so much we could have stripped and really focused on what could have made it good. And to that nurse, when I saw the nurses, I was excited because I remembered them from the first one. And they could have really drawn that out, like quietly and latching him and made it heart pounding.
Yeah.
But no, apparently they can't hear those two when they're screaming at each other and they're not even whispering.
Where's my father? I don't know. First off, like...
Didn't you just hear where he was in the previous scene?
No, because...
It's like they wrote the script as they were shooting it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like, here's a map. I'm going to tell you everything. I don't know how to read a map. Where is he?
Just point to where it is. God.
So it kind of makes me think of, so I don't know if you guys are like anime or anything whatsoever.
Yeah.
But there's this manga anime called Spy Family, and there's this one scene. So one of the main characters is like a little 5-6-year-old girl, and she's actually psychic. But even though she's psychic, she is dumb as a goddamn rock. And she overhears through like a terrorist that like, oh, there's gonna be a bomb somewhere and it's near her dad. And so she like runs off to rescue her dad, and she's like, gotta disarm the bomb. And then she gets there and she's like, fuck, I don't know how to disarm a bomb. And like and I felt like that's what was happening like throughout the entire thing. Like, gotta do this. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, Heather's really aloof in this entire movie. She keeps saying, like, why me? Why choose me? Bitch, you literally just merged with your old self and got your memories back. You know why you. You know.
Oh, and everybody told you on your way in, too.
Oh,
yeah, 87 times, dude.
God. Why is everybody dumb in this movie? Like, everyone is just like an idiot throughout the whole film. Not a single
Agreed.
person.
No, I'm struggling. I'm trying to remember anybody who made any kind of good decision, and I can't.
Mm-hmm.
Pyramid Head.
All right.
Yeah, I was gonna say Pyramid Head.
Pyramid Head. He made the best decisions. That's
Yeah.
about it.
Like, I'm gonna get geeky for a second here. Okay, so I'm gonna address this right now. We discussed this with the quick fix of the first movie. It's like everyone says this is a parallel reality that shifts and the world changes. Like, I'm gonna say this right now. It is not a parallel reality. The game lore is that it's not a parallel reality. I know the movie changed a lot, but I think that's mainly because the people that were writing the scripts didn't understand the story. Have you ever seen the movie Sphere or the film Solaris?
No.
Have you ever? Okay, so the general premise is that there in the movie Sphere, there's a spacecraft that crashed into the ocean, and a group of divers go down and find it, and they find a golden sphere in the cargo hold. And if you enter the sphere, it allows you to project your dreams and nightmares into the real world.
Interesting.
That's just an underwater Event Horizon.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
what it is. It's Event Horizon. That is what Silent Hill is. Alessa in the game has psychic powers, but she's ultimately a good person. And because this cult wants to bring a demon into the real world, they use magic and shit to get her impregnated in order to give birth to the god. But there's a fire that breaks out, and she gets horribly burned. She's in a coma, but she still has the psychic abilities, and she's still impregnated with the demon. So the demon's thoughts and dreams and nightmares begin to become projected into the real world. So it's not a parallel reality. It is the nightmarish vision of a demon projected on top of our reality.
Oh.
Is this confusing to anybody?
Where's my father?
But that's the thing, is that it's the script tries to keep saying like, oh, it's alternate dimensions and stuff, and they say at the end of the movie, it's like there's going to be another nightmare at some point. It's like, no, the nightmare is done when Alessa is gone. So you can't get to another movie from here. So
Unless you literally recreate the entire thing, like
yeah.
Well, but they do have Heather at the end of the first game in one of the endings, right?
Mhm.
But the demon is dead.
Right.
Yeah, the third game, you literally kill God. The last boss is literally God.
This will be interesting. I feel like I have a way. I feel like I have a way to connect all this, and
Okay.
I don't want to oversell it. But we'll see.
Okay.
I believe in you.
That's my big thing, is that it just feels like the people that wrote the scripts, they either didn't care or they didn't understand what the lore was. And like, I mean, to keep harping on it, The Last of Us just wrapped up for its season. In terms of adapting a game, just adapt it. Just stop changing stuff. Stop going off the rails. Like, change a thing here or there, but this was a
Don't
time
lie,
when
just no matter what you do, get Daddy Pascal involved.
exactly.
True.
I would absolutely be okay with Pedro Pascal playing Harry Mason. I'm absolutely okay with that. If anything, it makes more sense because he does rescue the child at the end of the first game.
Orphan child.
The orphan child at the end of the first game.
Gotta get the orphan child.
We have to give him the hat trick for being the daddy of an orphan. We have to do that.
Obviously.
So yeah. Other negatives?
So that hug,
Oh.
I was so confused because that was very anticlimactic. First, the little girl was a lot more scarier than like the goth teen. I didn't find her scary at all. I
Oh,
thought
no.
it might have been nice to leave her as a kid, and maybe it's like your inner child situation there. But they were like hugging, and I'm like, oh, what's gonna happen? And that was done. And I was like, oh,
I've seen
defeated
scarier
her?
teenagers on Hot Topic.
Exactly. It was just not scary. And then it was like, that was done. I didn't realize that she had defeated her. I thought maybe she'd come back or something. It was
Yeah, it wasn't really explained that well. It just kind of was there and happened. There was no like.
Yeah.
I
How'd she know that was gonna work?
right. Well, we're the same, so I knew if I hug her, she will. Like, no, that still doesn't do shit. Like,
Love conquers all.
I like the idea of love conquers all, and that's what. But that didn't translate. That was just
no. It wasn't even that. It was. I don't even know what that was.
Yeah, I'm fine with that theme, but not in a Silent Hill story. Like the second game is literally it's trying to do the love conquers all story, where James resurrects his dead wife Mary, and the canon ending is that she dies again and then he commits suicide.
Bleak.
I mean,
yeah,
that's what I was kind of building up to at the very end of this film, where he's like, I still have to go after her, like. At the same token, though, I'm like, she told you to protect your daughter at all costs, and now you're gonna put her in the hands of an occultist that you met all of
5 minutes ago,
and that was trying to kill her. Despite what he changed, he didn't see the transformation, and now you're just gonna leave her again because why? I don't know. Like, none of that made sense. It's like everything that you've been doing the past, like, 18 fucking years or some shit is down the drain in all of 3 seconds. What just happened?
Sequel bait. You need to prep for that sequel. We prepped for 3 sequels in this movie, actually. We have the Sean Bean goes off to find his wife. We have Travis O'Grady when they meet up. That's the main character from Silent Hill Origin, the truck driver. And then we also have the bus for the prisoners going into Silent Hill. That's the setup for Silent Hill Downpour. 3 setups.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I wasn't sure on
That's
the
what it was.
prisoner bus because I didn't play anything beyond the room. That was my last.
Good. Stop there.
Yeah.
Stop there. Don't play the American ones. They're not good. They're very bad.
Like, this must be a reference to something, and I'm just not getting it.
Downpour was the last Silent Hill game we got. It was critically hated. Didn't sell at all. It's not very good. We got one after that called Book of Shadows, which was like a RPG, like a dungeon crawler, like a Diablo. It's not good. The next one we're getting is the Silent Hill 2 remake, which sure, we don't need it, but I'll take it. Yeah, Silent Hill outside of the first 4 games is not particularly good.
Yeah, they're also doing that new Silent Hill F.
Oh yeah, where it's basically Midsummer. Yeah. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff that's been announced on the way for Silent Hill, but I just feel like if it's not the original designers, it's just typically never good. I don't know.
Yeah.
I struggle to get excited for that stuff. So, well, any more negatives we can dig into?
God, I mean, so many. Did you guys, I feel like the first 15 minutes of this is just terrible because we get a double dream sequence.
Oh, yeah.
You mean Inception?
Followed by...
Pre-Inception? Post-Inception?
Yeah. Post-Inception dream sequenceception, followed by a Pop-Tart jump scare. Did you guys like that?
Right.
Of all the things that shocked me in this movie, that's the thing. Actually, I step back. There was one thing that creeped me out. One thing.
What is it?
It's in the mannequin factory, and there's the mannequin inside the bag, and it turns its head and the eyes open. Because the effect is so awful, it really just had that extreme uncanny valley to it, and it really weirded me out.
I agree. I liked that part.
Yeah. Yeah.
Me too.
Did the mannequin?
I liked the mannequin thing.
Yeah, the mannequin monster thing. That was actually really cool. And if I remember correctly, it actually came off a lot better in 3D than it did in like normal 2D or whatever. Like it actually had a lot more depth and like clarity to it, and I remember that being actually a lot better than it was.
Yeah. Well, because when you light for 3D, you have to overlight so that way you can have depth of perspective, foreground, middle ground, background. Mm-hmm. So when you see it in 3D, it dims it down. But when you watch it in 2D, it looks weird. Like the CGI really stands out. Like it doesn't fit into the environment. It's like two pieces of a puzzle that kind of look similar and kind of fit together, but not enough to say, yeah, that's where that goes. So it's,
I'm glad they killed off the woman, though, because I was like, now is this chick going to, like, follow her around? So that was good, at least. They made that decision.
Yeah, that lasted all of about 5 seconds. I also another negative I have, look, I get it. Pyramid Head is a beloved character, even though he's not really a character. I get it. Gals love him. He's not part of this story.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah, that's a character
Shut
that's
your whore mouth.
It's a character that's exclusive to Silent Hill 2, damn it.
Shut your whore mouth.
It is meant for James and James alone.
But I think because the first movie introduced him, that's why it doesn't bug me. Because I'm like, meh, he was already there.
I know. I get it. They changed a lot. I get it. I know. It's just, this is like the most nitpicky, geeky thing I will ever complain about with this. Like, why is he here? I get why he's here. He's an iconic character. You want to put him in everything. I get it. I understand. I don't have to like it, but I get it. So, I'll shut up.
Tawny, do you have more negatives? Because you were about to say something and I interrupted you.
I don't remember what I was going to say, but yeah, I mean, I feel like I could give you a never-ending list. I will just say, also, back on the nurses, I fucking hated the moaning from them. That was
the sexy moaning?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was so...
That threw off what they're actually supposed to be, I think. And I was like, that's the part I didn't like. I liked their appearance. I liked how they moved. But the actual, like, vocalization I was thrown off by that.
Yeah. Well, color me horrified and horny at the same time.
I'm scaroused.
I just pushed it way too far. I could deal with the sexy nurses, and I think they work really well and are effective in the first movie. And then, but to take it that extra step, I just was rolling my eyes.
It's like, are you trying to be scary right now, or are you trying to be sexy? Like, which you got to pick one. You know, just you can't do both at the same time. Like, anything else? I mean.
I feel good. I feel good leaving it at that. I think
let's
properly
let's
roasted this,
and we can fix this dumpster fire.
Yeah, like I said at the beginning, we typically have one barn burner per season. This is it. This is scraping bedrock. We've reached below the 10% mark on Rotten Tomatoes. We're there. This is what. Here's the question. Here's the question. Is this movie worth watching? In any capacity, like getting completely shit-faced drunk, is it even worth watching?
Yes, Pyramid Head, duh.
But
I have to say yes because I had fun watching it and I wasn't shit-faced drunk.
Okay.
It's like it's stupid fun. It's the same reason, you watch any like B horror, because you go into it knowing it's gonna be bad and stupid. Like if you go into this with like how we are today with like a critique eye and yes, it's gonna be bad, but I used to have, like, back when I lived in Maryland, I had like my core like horror group. Like once every 2 weeks we'd have bad movie night, and each night we would switch off who picked like a good bad B horror. And we would just, like, have fun watching it because we know it was dumb and stupid. And that's kind of like what this is. You just have to go into it with the right mindset.
Yeah.
I liked the monsters. I know I said this,
Yeah.
but I would like they made me feel dread, just the monsters. So I liked it for that reason. I would say, yeah, don't go in with any really high expectations, but the monsters are cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd say it's worth a watch, but like I cannot, even though I hate this movie, and I do hate it. If it's on, I cannot tear my eyes away. I will hate watch this. This is probably my most hated movie that I've watched the most. Like, I just can't tear my eyes away because it's a fucking train wreck. I just can't believe
That's
how
what I'm
bad
saying,
it is.
Because you know it's bad. Because you know it's bad and you have to watch it.
That's how I feel about Halloween 3, I think. So.
Oh, the most recent one?
No,
like actual 3.
Oh,
yeah, actual 3.
Really?
The Season of the Witch one.
Really? That's fun.
Have you seen it recently?
Not recently. I mean, I know
pretty,
it's not.
Like,
it's goofy.
It's terrible.
Goofy.
It's terrible.
No, but that's what I mean. Like, I had so much fun because it was so bad. Like, back in the day, I remember being terrified because I was a kid, and then I made Tawny watch it, and it was bad, but I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I enjoyed talking about it.
Yeah. Take a look at this piece of shit. You're gonna love this. That's kind of how I feel about this movie. It's, I will say I never stopped watching it. I didn't like pause and like diddle on my phone or anything. I was like, I was watching it. I wasn't really enjoying it, but I was watching it. It's better than other films we've done on this show. Like Blade Trinity, I was like fucking around on my phone like half the time because it's so boring. Like, yeah, but,
that's like a bad movie that's not fun.
Yeah.
It
just wasn't
you're
fun
just
at
like
all.
you keep pausing it, waiting to see how much more you have left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This one, it's a tight 90 minutes. You're in, you're out. Yeah. That's the one. I'll give that as a positive. It's 90 minutes. There you go. First one's way too long. This one's way too short. There you go. So.
All right. I think we're ready to do our pitch and fix it up, and I'm so interested to see the ideas that you have. I really am. I'm excited for this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we will take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to fix Silent Hill Revelation 3D.
Hey guys, it's Seth from Jaguar Sharks. We just wanted to steer you towards our TikTok channel. It's kind of popping off right now. We had a video kind of get caught up and go viral on our Last Jedi episode, and we're just kind of having fun with that. So we're just directing everyone who listens to the show to head over to TikTok. Follow us at Jaguar Sharks Pod. You can see clips of our show, and we're going to update with videos from us, questions of the week, topics for the day, and the movies that we're into. We're excited to see you guys over there, and happy to have you here listening already.
And we're back to discuss how we're going to fix Silent Hill Revelation 3D. First question, can we get rid of the 3D, please?
Yes, that's the first fix right then and there. Anything 3D
Thank you.
fucks it up.
Thank you. All right. So, Tawny, Felicia, did you do this pitch together, or is it one of you that did this pitch?
We
totally.
Sorry, go ahead, Felicia. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, we didn't do it together.
Okay. In that case, the floor is yours. How do we do this?
If you don't mind, Tawny, if I could start, because I think you are going to have a much more meaningful and thoughtful, because of your experience, first of all, how much you love Silent Hill and you've played the games. Mine's going to be really simple and really quick. And totally coming from, I didn't come up with a big pitch because I've heard, the amazing pitches you have on your other episodes, because I didn't feel like I had the right, because I didn't have that background, right? I can't be messing with the story and messing with all of this stuff. I'm not coming from a knowledgeable place. for me, who have not played the video games, just walking into this movie, I would cut it way down, like all that backstory, well, like her, not backstory, I'm sorry, but her like at school and all of these parts that we just talked about that weren't needed, and have it be just like you had mentioned in the beginning, where people happen upon it, or maybe she's called there for whatever she needs to save her mom, her dad, whatever it is, and more monsters. Lot more time on the monsters, just a lot more battles, more monsters, and less talking. Completely cut the cult, or I get we need the cult because it's in the first one. Make them a lot more scary, and just like really trim it down. I guess if you're make the story make sense. I don't even understand why the woman was hiding. She was really the Bladehead woman. Like, what does that mean? Like, just like really pare it down, have more monsters, because that's what scared me the most. So that's coming from someone who doesn't know anything else really about Silent Hill. Give me more monsters. And now I'll give the floor to Tawny.
I'd say that's a good start, for sure.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
it's never explained how it is that Carrie Ann Moss, who's actually the Bladehead monster, they say, oh, you can only leave Silent Hill if under very strict circumstances. Well, then how does she transform and then get out of the town?
Magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me expose you for who you really are, and this is who you are. Okay.
Wow, I don't even have the mental capacity to try to wrap my brain around how that even works. Let's continue.
So stupid. So dumb. Okay. So mine is going to be not very imaginative, okay? Because obviously I'm a fan of the third game. So I think none of this is my own original thought. I think I just would like to piece things together differently so that it works as a sequel to the first movie, because I also love the first movie, and also is a little bit even closer to the third game story, but I think you can cut out so fucking much. Like, the main storyline of 3, the game, is just that Heather has been living a life out in the world, and she doesn't know about any of this. And then as she nears her 18th birthday, you know, the cult tracks her down with Douglas, and she starts to go in search, or she, I don't even think she starts to go searching. She just, like, is being, you know, pulled into the world. And then she goes home, and Harry is dead. And the cult killed him in order to create hate in her heart, so that she will birth this god. So we're continuing she's basically a surrogate for their god. They want her to birth God. So then she goes to Silent Hill. She fights her way through. She gets down to the bottom, and she takes this little pill. I think it's a pill. It's something to exorcise demons, and it causes her to vomit up the fetus of their god. Yep. Because she does not want to be a part of this, obviously. It's terrible. And then Claudia, who's there, panics and wants this god to be born, so she ingests God as a way to try to, like, bring forth this, right? Because they're basically like a doomsday cult. They
want the end of the world,
Yeah, so they're trying to cleanse the world with, like, fire. And Felicia, I know you're gonna love this shit. Just, like, so good. This is the part that I really, really love about the game. So she ingests and, like, births God, but it doesn't, like, work the way, because she's not, like, the perfect vessel, like Heather.
She literally eats a fetus.
Yeah, but she does kind of half birth a god that looks like a giant version kind of Heather. And then that's, like, the final battle in the game, is you have to fight God, defeat it, and then Heather goes off. There's a few different endings, but the main number one ending is that she goes and she survives off into the world. So with that information, you burn this movie to the ground, start over, recast everyone, except for the returning characters. I'm okay with Sean Bean and Dahlia coming back.
Yeah.
I think that's fine. I think they needed to make Heather more Heather. She really doesn't reflect the way that she is in the game. In the game, she's kind of a badass. She's got a sharp tongue. She's sarcastic. She's like, she doesn't take shit from anybody. And I love that about her. So I think you could have kept that. And then they should have just done basically what happens in the game. They should have killed Harry so that she goes to Silent Hill for revenge to kill the rest of this cult. Because I think one of the one of the major themes that could really work is a theme of corruption in this. And I think there's a continuing theme of cycles and rebirth. Of course, obviously with like birthing the god, right? But I think this is why I was saying I think keeping Vincent in as Claudia's son is important, because I think you can show the corruption of the cult in this way. Like, I think you get rid of Douglas and Leonard, and Claudia maybe shows up at the end, but you get this awesome story where, like, Vincent is just a regular human in this cult who's been brainwashed, and he's a plant. He's there to get information on Heather and push her towards Silent Hill, but he turns, and he's like, oh, this sucks. I was totally brainwashed by the end. So I feel like that's a good arc, but you get out the love story, because that's fucking stupid.
Oh, God, that was awful, yeah.
Yeah, let's get rid of that. Also, it makes no sense from the familial aspect. Let's not do that.
Yeah, and actually, in fact, that would make it cooler, in my opinion. It's like, oh, they are kind of like related, so now they're going to go. So at the end, they go off into the world because they've defeated the god. I think the cult should still be around for sequel purposes, because I just, keep giving them to me. I like these movies, okay? I'm here to watch them. But my final thing, and I'm sorry, this is long, but I've been thinking a lot about this. My final thing is that in order to kind of tie the two movies together is, I can't remember if I read this somewhere or if I just assumed it was the way that is. I think that there actually should be two cults, if there's not already. You have the Order, which shows up in this movie. Mm-hmm. Those are the people trying to purify the world and bring forth God. But then that's a different cult than the cult from the first movie. And those people are more like, they believe in like a traditional God.
Yeah, Christian, evangelical,
Yeah.
Salem witch trial, witch burners. That's what it felt like.
Totally. So then it makes sense for them to want to burn Alessa and then later Sharon, because she, they saw her as evil because she was raped by the janitor. I think that janitor could have been part of the Order.
Yeah.
And maybe they explain that like real quick. I mean, again, we don't need like a ton of exposition, but I think that it would be cool to kind of have these two, in the very background lore, these two opposing cults. Because the cult is like my favorite part of all these games. So, I should say the third game. So
the reasoning,
more cults.
Yeah. The reasoning for the change is because the first film really was delving into the Christian mythology, which is not in the game at all. So they sort of changed that. And then the sequel is meant to be closer to the game. So they said, oh, the Order of Valtiel. It's meant to be the same thing, but they just changed it. Like you said with MJ Bassett saying that it was a mistake to try to make a sequel to the film as well as an adaptation of the game. It doesn't quite work because it's meant to be the same group. There's only one cult in the town, but it doesn't work. Yeah, so I agree. If you're gonna do this story, you should have two opposing cults.
Yeah, totally. And Kit Harington, Vincent says,
no, it's Kit Harington.
Yeah, right. He does say, because somebody's like, I think she's like, who's that? And he goes, oh, that's the Brethren. And I'm like, yeah. I feel like you could have this whole other cult from the first movie called the Brethren, if that's not already. Again, I might have just read that somewhere. I went back and tried to do my research, like, did I just pick this up from somewhere? And I couldn't find it, so I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if that's my original thought, but I think that's how you could kind of nicely package it up. Okay, so that's my pitch.
No,
there you go.
Yeah, I like that because, I mean, think of it in any sort of religion. Like, you have... Just to break it down easily, like, you have your, like, everyday, like, Christians are like, oh, yeah, I pray to God, whatever. But then you have, like, your fucking crazy batshit people who want to convert. And so, and they're, even though the same religion, they're, like, two different things. So, like, I think that's a good idea with the whole two cults thing. I really like that.
I love that. I want to see that movie, Tawny.
Thanks.
In terms of the actual tone of the movie, are we still going to stick with the 90-minute funhouse ride, or are we going to try to make it more like the game is, where it's quiet, introspective, more about the characters and how they interact? And let's also delve into like the diverse monsters. That's one thing that's missing from the movie. Like there's multiple monsters that don't appear in the film. Like the monsters you find in the mall, they're the big kind of tall guys with the big kind of like big pistons on their arms. Like it would be nice to see that, because I don't know what like what is that thing? I don't know. Just get it away from me.
Yeah, well, those are really scary. And they suck to fight.
Ugh, it's creepy.
I agree. More monsters. I agree with that. I want
Where
to
the
see
dogs
that you're talking about.
Get these dogs in here, bro. These dogs suck.
Yeah. Also, Pyramid Head. Where does he play into this? If you're gonna put him in, where is he?
In my bed.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything.
Well, he does, kind of, he's the good guy at the end of this one, so,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he does defend her.
Yeah. He's loyal. Strong. We could work on that killing stuff,
Right, yeah.
Change him a little.
I can change him.
Look, he's more loyal than most of the people out there. I'll take it.
Yeah, he didn't even bat an eyelash. Okay,
That's
this is
what
her
I'm saying.
now. Okay, I'll
all right.
defend her.
Well, he doesn't have eyelashes.
Emotional
Do you
eyelashes,
see
whatever.
Is that his head? Like, is that a mask, or is he?
No, it's literally his head.
Oh, okay. Hence,
it's not a mask.
Head.
Yeah, it's literally his
sure.
head.
Yes.
It's literally his head.
Well, it'd be hard to kiss and stuff like that, but
who says anything about that, man? There's what?
Do you know what the inspiration for what Pyramid Head is supposed to look like in the games?
No.
He is a giant penis.
Oh.
I mean,
because the head is much more kind of like literally a pyramid, like 4-sided pyramid. It looks more like that. It's the head of a dick.
Yeah, phallic. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
just proving my point why I want him in bed.
Why he's in bed? you didn't change my mind there.
You're only just helping my point. Like,
I mean, 2 of them show up at the end of the second game. You have to fight them at the same time. So there you go.
just making dreams come true here.
Okay, so we're getting rid of Leonard. We're getting rid of the detective Douglas. I just realized if you're gonna kill off Harry, that means Sean Bean has to die.
Yeah,
so
sorry.
he fulfills his prophecy of being Sean Bean.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Sean Bean is just Sean Bean.
See, look at this.
Okay.
Everybody's happy. I'm just pleasing everybody.
Yeah, because Harry doesn't even have like any dialogue or character in the game. The first time you see him, he's dead in the chair. So. Are there any scenes between him and Heather at any point, or is it just like, he's just dead?
I think he is just dead. I'm not remembering any moment where you get to interact with him before that in the game.
You don't. You don't. You start out at the mall, and then you make your way back home, and then he's already dead.
Yeah.
So you don't even see his face, actually. That's another thing I wanted to point out with the games, is that you never see a dead person's face in any of the games. It's like the level of gore and like when Heather is having her dream sequence where she sees like the people being carved up in the mall and all the blood and gore and all that stuff. That's not something that's in the games. There's no like extreme gore. People's faces are obscured. People's bodies are turned away. I mean, I understand blood and gore is like, for like Friday the 13th, I understand it. But that's not what Silent Hill is. I would go more in the vein of something like a Lars von Trier film like Antichrist, where it go in the hard opposite direction.
truly psychological. Yeah.
It's way more atmospheric and implied and subtle. And so I agree with you. I think that scene in particular, I fucking hate it, where she's like looking around and everybody's eating weird bloody meat. I'm like, this is so far disconnected from even just the vibe of Silent Hill. Like, and then we're gonna see people like roasting human slabs of meat. Like, what is happening? It's so wild in a terrible way.
Because it never makes it clear. It's like, is this actually happening, or is she just losing her mind? It's not clear enough.
Yeah.
It's
whether it's like a vision or if it's real or
Yeah, is it a vision? Is it a premonition? Is it a parallel world? There are no answers. So yeah.
And part of the fun, I think, of the third game is that you learn about what's happening with Heather as you pick up clues. And I just think, again, this movie gives everything to you on the front end. And it's so much more interesting to go with her on this journey of what's happening, and I need to figure it out for myself. And so I feel like it's good for her and Harry to have a good relationship. I think that's important for the story. But I don't think you need to set that up so much that you spend a bunch of time on it, because you can just know, that she loved him. And so him dying is kind of what sets her off on the quest, and she inadvertently plays into the hands of this cult.
Yeah. Because it's called, the subtitle of this film is Revelation. Are there any revelations in this movie?
No, not really, no.
It's like they kind of tell you everything up front in the first half hour of the movie. And it's like, oh, we're just going through the motions now. There's no reveal. There's no shocking revelation at any point in the movie. It's like the only revelation we have is that, oh, I didn't see that coming, that Claudia is the main villain and is also apparently a Cenobite. All right. It's
right. Yeah.
It's like, that's literally it. That's the only reveal. And also that Kit Harington is also a creepy guy that works for a cult. But we all saw that coming a mile away.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Also, I just realized something. Kit Harington's character, he says, hey, do you Facebook? I thought you lived in Silent Hill where there's no technology. How the fuck do you know what that even is?
He probably did he was probably, I mean, obviously, that's probably why he phrased it like that, too, because, like, he was probably there, obviously, a couple of days and, like, did research and some shit, so.
Well, she does have that whole thing in class with him. She's, I'm not going to Facebook you. I'm not going to tweet you. I'm not going to do this. Everyone hates me. I don't want to know who you are. And so he probably just heard the Facebook part. And he was like, hey, Facebook? What, she just said,
Yeah, he's taking notes.
Right.
Facebook.
Yeah.
I am.
What you say?
It's like that thing in Captain America: Winter Soldier where Anthony Mackie says to Chris Evans, you need to look up Star Wars, like, and he's just writing it on his little piece of paper, all the things he needs to catch up on from the 1940s.
Yes.
It's like, catch up on Facebook. What is that? Okay. Mark Zuckerberg. Okay.
Oh, he's already part of the cult. Never mind.
Leading the Doomsday Charge. Oh, this is a good pitch.
Yeah.
It's good, straightforward, it's to the point. It cuts the fat, because I agree, the Leonard thing, you really don't need it, because
as much as I love Malcolm McDowell, it's not necessary.
Yeah. It's not even, like, necessary in the game.
Yeah.
no, it's not.
Yeah.
You don't learn anything going there. Yeah. Because also, can also bring up, he puts the thing into his chest, and that makes him his true self, a big kind of like spindly tendril monster. So why is it that when she pulls the thing back out, he disintegrates into dust? Why doesn't he go back to being Malcolm McDowell?
Because he already had half of it within himself, and she had the other half.
Oh,
And
yeah,
then
so it was,
she
like,
took
probably
the-
sustaining him.
Yeah, and so, like, she took the entirety out. So that was probably... And after being, like, cut open at the asylum, like, a gajillion times, that was probably the only thing keeping him alive. So that's going to be my best guess as to why that happened.
I think that's fair. And
Okay.
this is I know I've already said it, but I just want to reiterate. Like, I hate that they made the end of this movie about the seal of Metatron versus the rebirth of God. I just think that they probably got gun shy about that, and they thought it would be too, too graphic or too crazy to put in this movie.
I just think that since they were explaining everything to us, that they didn't understand, so they're like, I don't know how to explain this. Let's do something else.
Yeah. We've used up all of our 90 minutes explaining everything else. Let's just keep going with the seal of Metatron,
right.
you know? Okay.
Well, they couldn't really get to the God thing because in the game, she's already impregnated with it, whereas they haven't even set that up at any point in the movie. Mm-hmm. So you can't even get to it.
Okay, here's my pitch for that, because I thought about this also.
Okay.
Go.
I think it makes sense for Alessa, right, the dark version of her, to be trying to keep her away from Silent Hill, because I think it makes sense for both of them to have to merge together for the god to be birthed from her. I think that makes sense to me. So Alessa's like trying to keep her away, so that's why you have to fight her to get into, the depths of Silent Hill to even have this happen. And so I think it would be cool for her to defeat her on the carousel, because that's exactly how it is in the game. And then she does sort of like absorb back in that dark part of Alessa, because she had the hatred planted in her heart from Harry dying, and now she's on like a quest for vengeance. So I think that makes sense to make her whole again, and then she is able to be, the vessel for their god. How she is actually kind of pregnant by that god, I don't know how you solve that, but I think that's how you could maybe bridge it.
Yeah, that's just inherent problems with the first film, is that was never even established at any point, that they were trying to impregnate her at any point. So you're kind of stuck with the luggage of the first movie. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Also, can I also add, in terms of scary stuff we could add into here, there's a room in Silent Hill 3 that freaked me the fuck out when I saw it. It's literally just a room with a giant mirror on the wall. There's nothing in there. Do you know what room I'm talking about?
Yes, yeah. It's like one of my favorite parts.
You just walk in, and what is it that happens? Like, blood starts coming out of the walls?
Well, it's like there's something that happens in the mirror, because there's a bathtub in there, and you get, I think you see that the bathtub in the mirror is full of blood, and it drains, and then it fills up in the room that you're in. Yeah. But then it becomes like, it makes everything dark. And I think your reflection freezes, and it's like Alessa, it's the dark part of you. And then you die. You have to leave the room like before any of that shit happens, or else you die in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just the reflection gets covered in blood. You yourself don't, but the reflection the room gets darker and darker, and it begins to freeze up. Your image freezes like that. Why is like creepy stuff like that not in this movie?
I don't know. They had like a gold mine of material, because there's another part in the game in the beginning where you're going down into the subway, and you go down this really, really, really long staircase. And as you go down the staircase, it becomes more and more like the other world, but it's like a gradual progression, like you were talking about, Felicia. Love that like slow transition. And so if you run back up, it gets better. If you run down, it gets worse. And it's like a really great interactive moment in the game. And I think they could have, incorporated more stuff like this, and it just got smashed together. It's like, bam.
We got to keep going along on the amusement park ride. Going into the next room now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, honestly, even the carousel moment, they could have made that so much creepier, and that would have been cool.
It's so loud.
Like if
loud.
The fact that if it wasn't loud and like darker and everything, it could have been so cool. But it is what it is. So.
Yeah, I just look at they just are sinking into the fires of hell, and it just comes off kind of silly. They're literally hugging on a carousel, and it's like, this is ridiculous. This is so dumb.
Look at me, Mommy! I'm going on the ride.
I did like how the pyramid head, like he was hooked to it, and he was spinning this, and I was like, oh god, this is great. And then
Why is he doing that?
I don't know. It doesn't go around without him. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm asking these questions like I'm expecting an answer, and I know it's not there. So
Yeah, it really doesn't make any sense. I felt like he saved me there for a minute. I'm like, okay, cool. Here we go.
Right,
I'm back in
right,
it.
yeah. Could I make one request with regard to Pyramid Head? If he must be in this movie, okay, that's fine. Can we make it more like the game version where he's kind of like lanky and scrawny and not so?
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'm asking that question to 3 women, and I'm like, all right, I just walked in. Let me keep digging my hole to China. Let me keep digging. All right, fine.
Come on, it
'Cause
should even
the
appeal
first-
to you. It should even appeal to you, Jesse. Come on.
Well, the first time you interact or even see Pyramid Head in Silent Hill 2, he's on the other side of a set of bars, and he's just staring at you. He's not moving. You can't hurt him. He can't do anything. He's just staring at you. And it's so fucking creepy. It's so weird. Why? I would just love monsters to just kind of just sit there and just stare at the main characters. Not even attacking. Just like sit there. There's nothing more horrifying than the image of motionlessness.
Oh yeah, that's scary.
Or even
Yeah.
just lurking. Like, Valtiel is in the, like, they call themselves the Order of Valtiel, but Valtiel is a, like, character. He's like a monster character in the game.
Yeah.
And he never does anything. Like, he just shows up sometimes, and he watches Heather because his name means attendant of God. So, like, his job is to usher in this God that's being birthed by her. So he doesn't care about Heather at all. He'll drag you off also when you die. Like, he'll come out and drag your body away. And so it's nice to have that atmosphere, I think. And again, they're really missing that. But that would be dope. Get some, like, background Valtiel. Just, he's usually, like, turning a valve or something weird. I don't know.
The
I'm okay with
imagery in the first cinematic that opens the game is him with 2 kind of like pistons with 2 women's legs in front. It's meant to be Heather and Alessa, like he's trying to merge them back together. Like that's so yeah. The only time you see him in this movie is as a statue. That's it.
Yeah.
Lame.
I googled Pyramid Head in the game, and I don't know if I'm getting what, because it looks like what I saw in the movie. This guy with the giant. So I don't know, maybe.
The red Pyramid Head from Silent Hill 2.
Yeah, maybe. I just googled Pyramid Head in game.
There's 2 different versions. When they did the American version, they copied the version from the movie. The Silent Hill 2 version, he looks more like he has like a surgeon's garb on, and he has literally a red pyramid head.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so the American version, they copied the movie. The Japanese version, they have their own interpretation.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Jesse, I appreciate this, like, very high level of nerdy that we are both, like, going for here. We're like, but what about this? Okay?
I know. But what if he was big and bulky and like a bodybuilder and he was in my bed? I get it. I'm in a podcast with 3 women. I get it.
Look, that's just my personal thing. For the movie, he could be different. I mean, for my own personal life, that's a whole other thing, dude. I mean, and if we're being honest, I would honestly take the nurses over Pyramid Head. Just saying.
I'm not surprised.
I mean,
I'm not surprised.
knowing my background, yeah.
I know. Hope works in a lab. Used to do crime scene cleanup. I get it.
Bisexual out the ass. Just give me all of it.
I get it.
Greedy.
Damn right I am.
That's awesome. And I did find the Japanese one now. I could see what you're saying.
Yeah,
found some
it's much kind of creepier and weird to me. It's the first time you actually see him ever moving around in the game. He's apparently raping mannequins.
Yeah.
Is that where the mannequins come?
Mm-hmm. The
I
mannequins
was
are
wondering why they're.
Yeah.
I liked that mannequin thing, but I was wondering like why.
no. The one that's in the movie is not in the game. The mannequins in the games are there's 2 legs on the bottom and 2 legs on the top. So there's like no torso and no head.
Yeah.
It's creepy. It's weird.
Because they're going for
It's-
off-putting, you know.
Yeah.
Every monster in Silent Hill 2 is meant to sort of reflect some level of James's psyche, like
And
he's
we would-
sexually repressed. Like, hey, it's hot women's legs. He wants nothing but legs. I get it.
I'd like to see more of those type of monsters in the film for sure. So, and I think we've established that we want a more wide variety of monsters. So,
Yeah. Not just like people getting carved up. Not just Pyramid Head slashing off people's arms.
Right. Oh god, I forgot
Less
about that.
people in the movie. Less ordinary people. Like,
yeah, what are all these people? What are all these
Yeah.
prisoners doing? It
it's
makes
too
no
people-y
sense.
out here. Give me monsters.
yeah. Where's the food? Where's the water? How are you alive? Like, how
Yeah.
are you surviving in this town? Like in Silent Hill 1, 2, and 3, there's no one in that town. It's empty.
Other than the
There's,
people
like, 3
being
people.
like tortured. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's few and far in between. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Less people would be greatly appreciated. Yeah, like I said when we did our quick fix of the first one, like going back to the Andrei Tarkovsky film Stalker, when they go into the zone area where the world shifts and forms and projects your dreams into reality, there's nobody there. It's 3 guys walking around in the woods. That's the entirety of the movie. And it's creepy. It's creepy because it's horrifying. They're seeing things and they're seeing their dreams and nightmares projected into reality. It's horrifying. That's a heartbreaking movie too.
I feel like I'm gonna walk away with a list here of movies that
Yeah.
I need to watch.
I know, right?
It's Stalker is really good. Yeah, Solaris is pretty good too.
all the things.
All the things. Well, I think we're kind of reaching the end here. Like, this is a good pitch. Just like trim it down, make it more digestible, and try to explain things and make it. The biggest takeaway: if it's going to be a called a horror movie, make it scary.
Yeah.
That's your biggest problem there.
Yeah. And just take it all the way. Like, you know, we're talking about these like really interesting and scary sort of monsters, but what makes them scary is like that further element. And it's like a total missed opportunity.
Yeah. Well, we're getting another one pretty soon. Christoph Gans is coming back with the film Return to Silent Hill, which is in production or in development now. They start production, I think, February of next year, I think. They just cast James and Mary. I don't know. We'll see.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I, for one,
It
am
can only
stoked.
go up from here. Like,
Yeah, it's if nothing else, it can only go up from here.
right.
But like we said when we just discussed The Last of Us on one of our previous episodes, if the film adaptation of Silent Hill 2 does not meet the quality level of The Last of Us, everybody involved in that production will be fucking crucified.
Yeah.
Like, that's your benchmark. If you can't meet that, dog shit. That's it. This is what you can do. This is where you could go with this. Last of Us is going to probably earn tons of awards next year at awards season. If you release a Silent Hill movie and it's not that quality, your career is over. So it's make or break time, Christoph. Don't fuck it up.
give us what we want. Listen to this and give us what we want.
Don't fuck it up.
I believe in him. I read like a cool quote that he was talking about, you know, now he's writing the Silent Hill in his mind of 2023, and he was just like, you know, a lot of the stuff happening recently is a lot more original and surprising, and it's like different. It's a different, you know, landscape basically than it was in 2006. And
Yeah.
so I'm excited to see what that, you know, means for him and how it turns out in a movie.
Well, as long as it's not misogynistic like it was in the first movie. Have you heard that quote that he made about women in film?
I don't.
Oh, it's bad. It's
Think so.
Uh-oh.
I don't want to say it out loud. It's bad. I'll just post the quote in the chat when we finish up, and you'll
Okay.
see for yourself.
Lovely. On
Yeah.
that note,
And on that note, let's wrap it up. So, Tawny, Felicia, where can people find your work on the interwebs?
You can I paused. I didn't know if Donnie wanted to go or I'll go.
That's been the
I'll just
thing
do
this
it.
whole episode. It's like, you want to talk first or you want me to talk first?
We're like someone called us the most polite horror people guests. You can find us at Two Chicks and a Horror Flick on Instagram or any of your favorite social media platforms. And also, if you want to listen to our show, you could find us on any podcatcher that you like. We'll be there at Two Chicks and a Horror Flick.
Yeah, we have a website too, so you can do twochicksandahorrorflick.com.
Nice.
Nice. Hope, you need to be one of their guests. You need to talk about a movie for that.
Oh.
Yes, please, Hope.
I was
yes,
about to say,
you are
I will
cordially
be
invited.
Yeah, I will be on all day, every day with you guys as long as I'm invited.
Nice.
Nice. And Hope, where can people find our stuff online?
You can find us at Jaguar Sharks on Instagram, TikTok. We have a link tree, so you could just look up Jaguar Sharks, but we're any and everywhere you can imagine. You can find our podcasts wherever you can get your podcasts, and just look out for us. We have all kinds of content, all kinds of craziness, always something new going on. So,
Also, we have a TikTok page where I've been editing together some little videos from little snippets of our previous episodes. Just did stuff for Blade Trinity. Also, I did a little in memoriam for the
Lance.
late great actor just passed away, Lance Reddick, Baltimore native. Rest in power, brother. Just did a little video for him. We'll be posting that very soon on TikTok. So, yeah, that is all of our stuff. Thank you very much for coming on and discussing this wonderful, wonderful movie.
Yes. No,
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, ladies. This has really been, like I said, a great episode for me because I'm in amazing company. Not only horror fiends, but like women, and yay, I feel good.
Yay. Yeah, thank you so much for having us. We absolutely loved it.
Yeah, this was a nice change of pace because, like, you know, we normally don't get to shit all over a movie, and I've been waiting like 2 years.
Well, there you go.
Well, we'll bring it back next season then. I just put together the list of stuff for next season. It's quite exciting. Legion will be a fun one. We'll bring it back for
That's
that one.
another one
How
I
about
saw
that?
in theaters.
Oh God, why?
It was free.
And on that note, good night.
Good night.
Where are you guys? You're on the East Coast somewhere, right?
Yeah, I'm currently in Florida.
Oh, okay.
Yep, I am in Maryland.
Gotcha.
Yep. Where are you guys based out of?
I'm in Idaho, and Felicia's in Arizona.
Oh, damn.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, how did you two get together?
We met online, actually. We were in, like, a business course that we took online, so that's where we met, because we got put in, like, a little, little group together, and just, started talking and realized that we both love horror movies, and, I was like, well, I'd been kicking around the idea of doing a horror podcast for a while. Felicia was like, you should do that. And I was like, dude, we should do that. You should do that with me. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah. We have only met in person once, right? Because we met online, and that was last year. We went to Midsummer Scream.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Yeah, that was super fun.
Have you covered Terrifier at this point, right?
No. We did Terrifier 2.
Oh, yeah, that was enough. I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. Because I think there's... Never mind. I take that back. We'd love to have you on our show.
Oh, I did watch that sequence where the guy gets shot in the dick in Terrifier 2, and he does rip off that guy's dick. I did watch it. He does rip off that dude's dick. I was like, what the fuck, man?
I told you.
No, you said
That
he
was
gets
a
shot.
ride.
You didn't say he rips the guy's dick off.
Well, I didn't
Like,
want to
what-
give it all away.
Jesus.
You gotta experience that for yourself.
God damn, man.
It's like when I had you watch Wolf Cop for the first time.
That's exploding penis. Yay.
We should have them on and have them watch, unless they already have, Antichrist.
Oh, I love
gosh.
Antichrist. That movie's great.
Good.
Okay.
Incredible. One of our favorites.
So good.
Yeah, it was.
God damn. Have you seen that Lars von Trier is retired from filmmaking at this point?
No.
Oh, he actually
He,
retired?
He has Parkinson's.
Oh, shit.
Oh, that's
Yeah, he's-
sad.
Yeah, he's done. He did an interview I think a couple of months ago, and he just could not stop shaking. So he's done. So
Sad.
at least he ended with the house that Jack built, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one still.
Yeah,
Is it
it's-
still on Hulu?
I think so. I saw it in the theater. I saw the unrated version in theater, which aired for one day, and then they pulled it from theaters because they said, "Yeah, you didn't go through the MPA to get the rating for this, so we're pulling it from theaters." I saw it at Alamo Drafthouse, and the whole audience was really silent for a lot of the movie because everyone was in shock about what they were looking at. It's
That sounds about right.
it's a tough one. It's a tough one.
Oh, it used to be on Hulu. I guess they took it down. Huh.
Strange. Weird.
Because I remember that's because I didn't see it in theaters, but that's how I watched it, was on Hulu. So
Yeah. I'm not sure what's cut from the theatrical version and what's from the home viewing version. I'm not sure what's cut. Oh, I need to look that up. I'm sure it's probably just blood and gore.
probably. I mean, they're the worst scenes were with the animals. I will say.
Oh God. It's just
Oh, that killed me.
Yeah,
That's one
the
thing.
duck.
You can brutally torture, murder people all day long. I don't give a shit. I get off on it. But you bring in an animal, and I'm like, ugh, the babies. Ugh.
I mean, it's how serial killers become serial killers. They start out with animals, they move on to people. So it is very accurate. So.
We should do this one. Felicia, you haven't seen it, right?
No, I have not.
It is long though. It's I think it approaches close to about 2 hours 45 minutes. It's a long one.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if it's worth it, I've seen long movies where it didn't feel that long because it was so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Roger Ebert said it best. There's no what is it? No good movie is too long. No bad film is short enough.
Yes.
But now,
Yes.
unrelated, did you know that they're making Velocipaster 2?
Yeah. Did you put in funding for that, Hope?
You damn right I did.
Oh God. Oh.
All right.
Have you done Velocipaster on your shows?
No.
We have not yet.
Hope, that's the one you need to talk about.
Velocipaster.
It's the worst, best film ever. Like, the genius of the film is when you first look at it, you're like, wow, this is really bad, but it's done purposefully. Like, there's no way they could have just, like, accidentally done some of the stuff they did. It was all done, like, intentionally. And I think that's kind of the beauty of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they were...
When it
was-
got
Yeah.
when it got to VFX shot missing, literally in the middle of the movie, I was like,
Okay.
oh, I get it.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the movie poster. Yeah, so we got velociraptors, priests, and ninjas.
China is east. Oh, and don't forget the prostitutes. Don't forget the prostitutes and the pimps.
Oh Jesus!
This sounds interesting.
Oh, it's great. just
I
here.
forced
I'll-
Jesse to watch it, and his life changed.
Yep. Okay. So I'm just gonna say this. Hope, don't give it away. Landmine.
James! Oh, it's so beautiful. I may also be a smidge biased because one of my favorite musicians is in it, Aurelia Voltaire. So
So you got some ties.
a little
Some
bit,
ties
a
to it.
smidgen.